But the big match today, a tight one between Andre Agassi and Marat Safin. And you'll recall Safin pushing Jim Courier to 5 sets in Stone Mountain, Georgia. Agassi has his hands full. We pick it up 6-5 in the first set. Agassi leading. Here's Bill McAtee and John McEnroe.
Andre Agassi has had to come from behind here in the first set. In fact, he just broke and is now trying to serve out this first set against the young Russian, 18-year-old from Moscow.
Well, anyone that watched that thrilling Davis Cup match a couple months ago with Courier and this gentleman, Safin. Knows, Bill, that this young Russian player can play some great tennis. Andre Agassi played him the first match of the Davis Cup tie between the United States and Russia, defeated him handily, 3-3 and 3. That was on hard court. Safin, a better clay court player. That's a high risk, low yield on that one.
This is the first Grand Slam for Marat Safin. Here's a good look at the young Russian. Has a big
big ground strokes and no volley. This is Safin's game. Definitely had a lot of pace on, but Agassi is one of the greatest players I've ever seen. A sort of half volleying that ball off the baseline, does so again. Safin's not a real quick move around the board. He's a big guy at 6'3", certainly moves reasonably well, but a little stiff out there. Just turned 18 years old. But he's one of the few guys, Bill, who's willing to go out there and exchange monstrous ground strokes with Agassi. You see, just turned 18, big guy.
6'4".
Not a scintillating singles record so far, but did qualify here easily, and his ranking has moved up quite a bit the last year or so.
He's actually only played in 2 regular tour events this year. Had a win over Wayne Black in Philadelphia, beat Magnus Larsson in Barcelona.
With that forehand.
And a set point now for Andre Agassi.
It's 6-5, 30 all. Very happy he did what he did with that forehand. Safin, by the way, Bill, lives in Spain when he's not playing, so that's contributing to his better play on the clay court surface. Look at that backhand. I mean, that's what you dream about as a kid. In your mind, you say, I'm going to have a first serve way behind the baseline to 2 and then rip a winner. You know, you couldn't do that in the days when we were playing, Bill. And why, you may ask? Because of the wood racket, which I promise I bring up at least once a day. Let's get it out of the way quick. Yep. Not to mention, these guys, when I joined the tour, the average player was 5'10". They're now 6'2".
Tremendous shot to save the second set point.
I told you Safin couldn't move. That ball sat up there, though. That was not the drop shot, drop volley, Agassi would have envisioned. He figured that Safin, I think, wasn't going to try for it, but paid dearly for that thought. Deuce. There's youth right there and experience. You make a great play and then just try to hit such a big return. Agassi quickly takes advantage. Third set point.
Well, it took just under an hour, 59 minutes, for Andre Agassi to win the first set, 7-5. Marat Safin giving Agassi all he can handle.
They exchanged 5 breaks of serve in that 7-5 set. Played an hour. Imagine if this goes 5 sets. Querton, who advanced easily, is going to be hoping this match goes a long time. The defending champion playing the winner of this match in a couple days' time.
That's the third ace of the match for Safin. Andre Agassi, now 28 years old.
28. Little tiny guy, 5'11".
Has gotten his ranking back up to 20. It had dipped as low as 141.
He can slap that forehand up, just like this guy, Andre Agassi. 10th time here, 2-time finalist, a couple times in the semis. It ain't getting any easier for him, though, at age 28. Particularly on this surface, Bill. I think his best shot, probably, in all honesty, although you don't want to discount him here, would be at the grass where the points would be shorter, and he could use his experience. Here is more of a physical, demanding affair. And the youth that he had way back when, those years ago when he got to those finals twice, a lot younger then. Michael Jordan's probably watching this. Say, I'm 35. I'm still the best basketball player in the world, which is true. But that's also a team game. This is it also. I'd like to see the NBA. See, I would get those guys out in this clay court. Okay. Then they'll say, hey, these tennis players aren't such bad athletes. It's not easy to move out there.
40-15, first serve.
Well, they both like to crutch the ball, and then they want to make sure the other guy runs a lot, so they're going to intersperse some drop shots, and they trade 2-3 touch shots here. Safin, not known for his play around the net. Anyone who watched Davis Cup doubles could attest to that. I saw Kafelnikov, his partner, by the way, said this is going to be a lot closer than that Davis Cup match, and he's proven to be right so far. And that's where you notice Agassi's improved fitness from a year ago and his improved movement. That is a well-struck forehand. Agassi saw the opening, dug down a little deeper, just realized this guided cross court, you'll hit a winner, and he does. Love to get an early break here.
Deuce.
See if he can play with Safin's mind, but no, he crutches a 205-kilometer serve, which is, I think, 180 miles an hour. Is that right? A mere 127. We see Brad Gilbert, Andre's coach, the last probably about three and a half years.
It's wide. So Safin holds, but he is down a set to Andre Agassi. We're in Paris on USA.
Rio's final, and the other final to Enquist in Munich.
Andre even played a couple of tournaments on the Challenger circuit at the end of last year. He played in Las Vegas and in Burbank. When he won in Burbank, it was his first title since he won the Olympic gold medal in Atlanta in '96.
That's major minor league. when you're playing the challengers in your hometown and picking up your own balls, changing the score. When you switch sides, you got to change the score.
But it really did prove how dedicated he was to coming back and regaining his old form.
That's one way of looking at it. My concern still is the best of 5 set, though, because when I was down in Australia, he was hitting the ball great. He was had lost at least 15 pounds. But when he played Barasategi in the 16s, he looked to me like he got tired in the second set. And that was on hard court. So he ended up losing to Barasategi. Easy hold there for Andre, level 1 all second set. And Barasategi is no treat on the dirt, even tougher on clay. And if he starts running into guys like him, or what's that guy's name from Brazil that he might play if he wins this?
Gustavo Kuerten?
I think he'd like to get off this court if possible in straight sets. Kuerten's starting to come around. He's had a period from about around the U.S. Open for about 6 months where he looked like he was really struggling. In the last month or so, he's starting to come around on some of the events. Got to the semis in Rome. Quarters a hammer. No wins, but winning matches consistently. He looked good today, although he played a wild card player from France who, Bill, you had a shot against, I think. Boy, we'd like that one back because even the local players make those shots most of the time. When you have that Western grip, though, it's a little bit tricky when it gets below the net.
4th ace for Marat Safin. Tight first set. Agassi coming from behind to win 7-5. 1-all here in the second.
That shot there is I'm tired and I'm going to end the point. And I hope the drop shot goes over. Still up 45. And he's running a lot more than Agassi is, and that's what Agassi does so well. The other guy, Connors, it just made you work so much harder than they had to work. So a guy like Agassi or Connors, they don't have to be as fit as their opponent. They just have to be 75, 80%. Problem for Agassi is he plays a guy like Correia or Costa, one of these really fit, determined, solid players
who can make you run.
Who can make you run more and also are more than 20% fitter.
Ace for Safin on serve, second set. This is the first match for Andre Agassi at Roland Garros since 2 years ago when he was upset in the second round by a young man from Tennessee named Chris Woodruff.
What's happened here?
Well, I'm not quite positive. Safin comes to the chair.
Hey, help me out. I was looking at my notes here.
They just stopped playing. Agassi apparently thought the ball was out.
Thank God our producer, Greg
the man in the chair,
is watching. Because we got caught with our pants down. Tell these guys to hit the ball.
So obviously they replayed the first point, and it's love 15. Full run. and just lost. Safin, remind you of any more established player that we would be more familiar with?
You know, to be honest, he reminds me of a lot of players on the tour. He's like the prototypical 90s tennis player. He's a big guy, hits the ball big off the ground, big server, not really that comfortable at net. His feel is debatable. It's the power game. I mean, and if a guy like this can develop a more all-around game, then he's really going to be dangerous. And Bill, he's a second double for Andre. He's young enough where he could learn that. I mean, this guy could be a great player, and then he could also just be another guy, you know, churn out another guy who can hit the ball well and turn out to be an okay player, but nothing great.
Remind you at all of Yevgeny Kafelnikov, Andre doubles for the third time.
Very much so, except with one thing that Yevgeny has done, he's played a lot of doubles, and it's improved his volume and ability to attack the net. A couple break points for Safin now. Not a good game for Agassi at all so far.
Just like that. Gets rid of one of the break points.
Agassi's got to pull a Rios now. He's got to pull back like 10%, get that first serve in, not go for quite as much. He's still got Safin moving plenty. Doesn't need to go for outright winners here. Just like he did on that serve. I mean, that serve was struck at slightly under 100 miles per hour, but it was well placed. Safin 6'4", barely got to it. And Andre Agassi will never miss a shot that easy.
So an opportunity passes for Safin, and we're at deuce.
Is it Safin or Safin? Because we're not doing too well here. I don't care who you talk to. It's Safin, man. You probably talked to him, right?
To be honest, I've heard both pronunciations. What would you like to go
well, I'd like to go with Querton also. Speaking of the devil, I think I'm flexible, but we should stick together. That's.
We'll work it out during the break. How's that?
I'm surprised that ball went 2 feet long. Didn't appear from our angle either it was going to go that far out, but maybe today the balls are playing a little bit more lively. Players yesterday were complaining that balls were too heavy. You see, if you don't hit that drop shot really well, I mean, you're asking for trouble on clay, because that ball sits up there like a duck. And Safin once again with the break point chance. And once again, Agassi just spins the first serve in. This time gets even a better result, an outright miss off the return.
And Agassi saves the third break point.
That's a classic mistake there. He lined up, the ball clipped the tape, so he had all types of time. Right as he was about to hit it, he took his racket back even further, and that's why the ball was late. If he had just kept the racket there like he had from the very beginning, then the shot would have been successful. And Agassi home.
3 break chances.
Well, that had nothing to do with power and everything to do with placement, him holding there. That ball was about a 90-mile-an-hour serve. Safin with some new balls. 2-all second set.
Shaking his head, he knows that he's seen some real opportunities slip away. Really had control of that first set. But Agassi back in.
Well, I wouldn't say he had total control. I mean, certainly it's certainly a tight set, but
serving for the set.
I always felt deep down the American would pull it out. He wants curtain bad. No, I don't know about that call. Yeah, that ball was good. No doubt about it. It's his umpire, Johnny Mack.
From 50 feet up.
Look at it, you're really close.
Paulo Ferreira from Brazil scurries out.
The sign is when you hit a tape and it suddenly gets very white, that's a hint that it might have gone in. I'm glad.
And Safin says okay.
That's why you can say okay, because confident enough to rip a backhand winner up the line. Took a page out of Andre's book, took something off the serve, got a shot where he liked it, hit the winner. And that's where you have to hit the classic clay court forehand. Hit that big looping topspin forehand. Just get yourself back into position. These guys just think, I guess they believe they can hit winners from anywhere. But it's just percentages do not favor that, and you're going to end up on the losing end of this match. Try shots like that too often.
Isn't that a part of the confidence that allows you to play on this stage? Well, feeling like you can hit a winner from anywhere?
That's one way of looking at it, but there's another side to the coin, which is using your mind and realizing it's just not a long-term strategy. It's to succeed. Those shots where you're fully stretched and on the run and off the court and you're just banging away. I mean, those, I don't care who you are, you're not going to win a lot of points. But like Agassi did the last point, at least make the guy hit the winner. Don't just miss it. Just overpowered by that forehand. Looks at the court, say, I would have hit that in if it hadn't been such a horrible bounce. Look, see, he's checking the court, saying it wasn't me. Problem is, he's the only guy out there. Well, that ball looked to be just wide.
Herrera calls it wide. Agassi will take a stroll. Okay.
Avantage, Safin.
Couple obligatory whistles.
Got to pay
know the feel at home.
Safin.
The Safin holds. And 3-2. Second set. Andre Agassi serving to try to level the second set at 3.
Ooh, that was microscopically wide, if that was out. But there is a mark. And that shows you it's literally a 1/10 of an inch out. It is out. Then the breaks for Andre, love 15. That ball skidded off the line, an ace. Beautifully placed once again.
That's the first ace of the match for Agassi.
He's in big trouble when Agassi gets him off court there off the forehand. He just doesn't know what to do. It's not easy to know what to do either, believe me. But I would try to just hit a looper and force at least Agassi hit the winner. Don't just miss that shot. Well, he paid the price for this mediocre approach shot here. He had to do more with this. He just kicked it to the service line. Agassi had all day and just said, I'm not going to make any mistakes. I'm just going to guide it down. Safin backhand. He'll miss the volley. I'll win the next point. 3-all second set.
Another cool day here in Paris. The weather actually favors, I guess, an Andre Agassi rather than the heat, where conditioning becomes more of a factor.
Well, you would think so, but I'm not sure at 18, you know, emotionally you expend a lot of energy. You can get tired from dealing with the situation, the adrenaline that you use. But I think it's important for Agassi to win as quickly as possible because of his opponent in the next round, the Brazilian fella. And I don't mean Melagini. That's good depth from Safin there. Woo. With power. Remember, he was up 6-0, 4-1 against Jim Courier, 5th match of Davis Cup.
Gave Courier all he can handle.
2-1 up. Jim Rock Courier came back to help the Americans advance in 5 tough sets. I loved Courier's excitement in that one. He was
incredible atmosphere in Stone Mountain, Georgia, outside of Atlanta.
I hope he does some of that here. I think that would help him. He really seemed to be enjoying this. Yeah, I saw him the other day. He said one of the most enjoyable matches he's played. Of course, it helps when you win, but in years that you really saw it on you.
Safin.
So, love game from Safin, 4-3, second set. Roland Garros, Andre Agassi, as Agassi serves to level the second set at 4.
Well, we've gone to the 1998 ATP Player Guide. We've managed to find his names in the back of the book. Bill, there's a perfect example of a player regrouping in the middle of a point. That shot right there, for example, just took something off it, hit it nice and deep, and then follows it up with a little luck. Never hurts. But he showed it all on that play.
Second serve, 30 love.
I guess this is what some of the lower ranked players complain about. They don't even get their pronunciation in the book, unlike the top players. They work your way up to be put on that list. Another winner from Agassi, quickly to 40 love, looking at level at 4-all second set.
Love game from Agassi. So we're level here in the second set. And John, what are your thoughts on the latest incarnation of Andre Agassi?
Well, first of all, I'm happy that he at the end of last year, he finally said, wait a second, so I'm not in very good shape. And first of all,
admitted it, absolutely said, I'm totally embarrassed by the way I'm playing.
Well, I think a lot had to do, obviously, he had a lot of his mind off the court. He got married last year. Ball just wide. I think he just, he traditionally, Brad Gilbert, Gil Ray's his longtime trainer, and I don't want to call him bodyguard because he's his friend, more importantly, but he does sort of lurk around the area just in case. And what I was saying, Bill, is he's had a history over his career to have like a great year, year and a half, and then struggle for a while. And it extended to like a couple years. And I think that when it extended past this year, year and a half that I think he's seen over the course of his career, he woke up and said, wait a minute, let's do something here. Beautiful winner there.
30-15.
But let's face it, I mean, the guy gets paid a ton of money. I mean, it's a pretty fantastic job. I mean, I think he owes it to the sport and to himself to go out where he's at least competing at the best level he can compete. And glad to see that he's determined that. And that's very important for the sport, I mean, to be honest.
So much has been made of Pete Sampras's quest to win here in Paris and win all 4 Grand Slams. And the irony is Andre Agassi, if he had been able to win one of those 2 finals, would have won all 4 Grand Slams. And he's very aware of that. And he's talked a lot about winning here in Paris. 5-4, second set. Second and only 3 break points, and they were all against Andre Agassi. So Agassi has not had a break opportunity in this set. Backing off, waiting for the spectators to get settled.
There must have been a lot of noise for Andre to back off, because he normally gets out there and starts playing. Gets a nice unforced error off the return there to start off this 10th game, just what the doctor ordered. And I think he's realized now in the second set that he doesn't need to go through all that much on the serve. The depth is superb from Safin at that point. Not to mention the topspin that he had. That is a tough shot to handle. Agassi did not handle at that point, 15-all. Safin not happy with that call. It looked to me like it clipped the line. And I think he realizes that. He just doesn't like the fact that it skidded. But watch Agassi's backhand. I mean, there's so little backswing. He's getting so much pace off that. It just shows you don't need to take a big swing. Use your opponent's pace. Torque your hips. Use your legs to make sure you can hit it on the rise if possible, moving forward, and you're going to get a lot of power. Not a bad point. Crushed about 10 ground strokes and finishes it off with a forehand winner. Look at this. This is Rios, the righty Rios. Lift up the leg like a horse or something. Counting. If it works for Rios, I mean, why not Safin might try it? He's 2 points from the second set. I guess he better be careful here.
Long.
Just didn't get that racket back soon enough, and Agassi's got too much pace on that forehand. Big point for him there, 40-30.
Well, 2 quick points for Agassi, and it's 5-all. Well, you could just feel Safin getting tight those last 2 points.
He's only human, Bill.
18 years old. This is his first Grand Slam event, and he finds himself in one of the show courts against Andre Agassi.
Well, I'll tell you what helped him was that. Well, I started talking. That ball looked like, I thought that serve was 6 inches long. Excuse me, folks. That Davis Cup match I was about to say, Safin helped him quite a bit. Cup, first of all, is best of 5. Second of all, is a big pro-American crowd. And he's playing 2 of the best players, Jim Courier and Andre Agassi, 2 great players with a lot of experience. Agassi not happy with this call here.
Paolo Pereira is going to have to put an escalator on that.
Especially after he missed the return. Marat's calling it good. Doesn't hurt to try.
Agassi goes right over and awaits the serve. And a good serve it is.
So my point is Safin is not as nervous as he may have been had it been his first best of 5 set match. Quickly to 40-love and a 6-5 lead in the second set. Agassi had given up on that and said, okay, the game's over, but Safin's backhand floated long.
40-15.
Safin.
6-5. Second set. Andre Agassi now serving to stay in the second set against the young 18-year-old from Moscow.
Boy, he had that one lined up. He saw the court open, got over anxious, pulled it wide. Love 15. Tension time on Suzanne Lenglen court. Sun is broken out, which is nice to see. Boy, he really went after that. That's when it's a real edge to be 6-4. Longer reach. 2 points in the second set. Now love 30. Andre better shake those legs. Start moving quick.
Clean winner. So Safin will have 3 set points.
And held that for him beautifully. I think you saw Andre move slightly to his left to protect the backhand. Triple set point for the Russian. There's one off the line. Skids, misses the return. It's amazing how much different the ball is when you hit the line. That ball dropped at least 6 inches or a foot. I'm not quite sure what was so funny.
There it is. Marat Safin is all even against Andre Agassi. Andre Agassi winning the first set, 7-5, just under 1 hour. And then after an hour and 40 minutes, we're even at a set apiece.
Kirtan is licking his chops right now, Bill. No, these guys are going to be at least out there for 4 sets. He's sitting in the locker room getting a massage.
The winner of this match will play the reigning French Open champion, Gustavo Kirtan.
Defeated a French wild card player. First 2 sets of that match took like 45 minutes. Okay.
You're suggesting it was not a major test.
Not a big sweat for the Brazilian. Champion. You know, and these guys don't sweat easily. They're used to that hot weather. He's wearing a full-length tracksuit. For him, it's freezing. Agassi's body language, Bill, right now is not good. I mean, it's not surprising because he just dumped that second set of that poor service game at 5-6. But he's not a happy camper right now. He's got to dig deep now. You don't got to. He's running out of chances. It's going to be tough enough as it is. Let's just do well here. So just try to look at the bright side. I'll let you know what that is after the break.
Impressive love game from Safin as we're underway. Set number 3.
Happy enough to get it in. But he dumped a few, Bill, at that 5-6 game. That cost him.
You impressed with this young guy?
Well, I was impressed when I saw him play Courier at Davis Cup. That was the first opportunity I had, and also when he played Andre the first match. Andre beat him easily the first tie. Total miss hit there. 3-3-3. And I'd heard people talking about him, hadn't really seen him play. I think Kafelnikov has been talking big about the guy, although he looked like he was about to shoot the guy in doubles in Davis Cup. That's exactly what I would do with Agassi. He's got better feel of the ball. He can use those angles more effectively than Safin. He's got to do that now. He's got to get Safin back on the run. That, believe it or not, he shouldn't be just exchanging with Safin. It's because of Agassi that you see guys like this young Russian, because they grew up seeing an Agassi crush every ball, and a lot of the guys coming up play that way. And they're willing to trade with a guy like Agassi. They figure, hey, I'm 18, this old man's 28. So that ball was clearly out. Was called in initially. Overruled by Pereira, correctly so. 1-all third set.
Well, actually, if you looked over the lines, he was pointing out, but he wasn't committed to it.
He pointed out after Pereira called it out. Very dubious move there, but
1-all.
He fooled you there, Bill.
He did. I wasn't watching him until after the overrule.
See, I check and see, that's my nature. I'm like, you know, right on the guy. Even up here, it doesn't matter. I'm still upset about the call. Safin's first serve percentage, though, not as good as Agassi. He's winning more free points off that first serve. What do we have for the match, Bill? Or Leo? Oh, took his eye off that ball. 51%. He's putting a lot of pace on it. And we see that he wins 84.24% of his. They're really getting down to the specifics. 84.24321, points when the first serve goes into the forehand side. Well, that was a quick game. I didn't chance to finish that.
Another impressive service game from Safin on serve, third set. Andre Agassi didn't play in the French Open last year because of tendonitis in his right wrist, and he has arrived.
I thought he was on his honeymoon.
Yes. Well, the official explanation is tendonitis. I don't know if that involves the honeymoon or not.
Well, we don't want to get into that.
But he has got all he can handle now as he comes back in '98.
Handled that for him. 10-0. Yes, yes. Well, I was just about to say the risk you take when you run around your backhand like Safin does, you're going to leave a lot of open court, which he did. Agassi hit the forehand cross court, but Safin with the incredible angle winner. That ball just wide. Agassi not happy, but it was. And I'll tell you, now you're starting to sense Safin believes he can win this thing. I think in the beginning.
And that's about the worst thing that can happen for Agassi.
That's exactly right. I mean, you just sense that he's moving a little bit more fluidly. He looks a little more confident. Andre's got to take it up another notch here. Well, see, that just looked too easy there. He's got to make Safin work harder than that. I mean, yes, it was a great shot, but I think Agassi, that shouldn't have been a clean winner. Break point opportunity number 12 at 15:40 here.
Body language for Andre Agassi not good at the moment.
Good timing.
Fourth double fault, and it gives Safin the break.
I saw Yevgeny in the locker room before the match. He says, "Watch out for me, John." I said, "Well, I haven't seen you win a whole lot of tournaments recently." "Don't you worry, Johnny." Well, you better worry, because next match I see here Thomas Enquist, second round, who's no slouch on the clay, beat Andre a couple weeks ago in Munich in the finals. And something very negative is happening right now with Andre. He's got a bad feel to it right now.
That was the 7th ace.
He's got to slow things down here if that's possible for him, because he sure likes to play fast. Good start there.
15 all.
He's also got the semifinals last year to worry about here, Bill. And I'm talking about Yevgeny. That ball just long. Remember him, Philippe de Wolf?
Yes.
I'm sure he's real concerned about him. But he is a potential third-round match, along with the consistent Goran Ivanisevic. Not another ace.
That's what Agassi must be saying. That's the 8. Quickly Safin out 40-15. Right in the corner. Safin loses just 1 point on his serve, and he's up 4-1 here in the third set. Andre Agassi, and John, you wonder what's going through his mind right now as he sits there in the change.
Well, he's thinking that he got to the finals here a couple times, so he knows he can play here. He's also thinking that was a long time ago. He's also thinking, Bill, that, in my opinion at least, he didn't play enough on clay once again. I mean, he went to Monte Carlo where he beat Todd Martin easily first round after Todd had won Barcelona. Pete Sampras then had a big win because Pete had never beaten him on clay. Beat him in the second round. That's a pretty tough draw, huh? Todd Martin to play Pete Sampras. And then in Munich, he got to the finals and loses to Thomas Enquist. That's it. Clay court preparation. No.
Well, until then, Agassi had lost 12 of the last 14, so make it 12 of 15, and he's lost 6 of the last 7 games, but he got a gift that time.
And that, in my opinion, Bill, is exactly what he needs to do. Use his ability to hit angles. He's better than that than Safin is. He's a little quicker around the court than Safin. He's got to take advantage of that.
There's the story. Andre Agassi in real trouble. It's the 18-year-old from Moscow, Marat Safin. Clean winner from Agassi, 40-15.
I'll tell you, that first point when Safin gave him, now that we had to go to his coach to find out that his pronunciation is Safin. Hell with his coach. I like the way Safin sounds.
Well,
they butchered my name here for 15 years. I mean, couldn't even spell it right. 15 straight years I told him it was MC.
Well, an easy game, a welcome easy service game for Andre Agassi, and we got to get John some decaf.
It'd be a little bit more. No, thank you. It'd be a little bit more important than you think, that first point. I mean, when he just gave that gift to Agassi, I just think there was a little shift in body language, possibly, and this is an opportunity for Agassi to get back in his third set. Look for a couple missed first serves like we just saw there, and use that tremendous returner serve that Andre's got.
Well, you get so many momentum shifts on this surface. You can just sense one now. Back to Agassi's side of the net.
It's true, more so than any other surface. You're going to see it here. It's tougher to keep the focus, tougher to dominate with slipping and sliding out there. I'm not sure if Safin's strategy was to go right up the middle, but he certainly did that point. It cost him. Oh, there's a double fault. We're going to take a look at that. It does look wide from up here. And the Russian's going to be unhappy to find he's down love 30 now.
The third double fault.
And it all started, in my opinion, with that brick overhead last game. I think he was sort of embarrassed. You know, he was a little bit embarrassed by the patheticness. Is that a word? Patheticness?
I don't think you need the ness.
Pathetic
okay.
nature of that shot. Right on the line.
It looked good at the net that time.
Well, so is Bjorn Borg if he hit a great approach shot and had a wide open court, like Safin did right there. But believe me, Agassi did the right thing, at least make him hit that shot, because he'll miss some before this match is over. We saw that earlier in the match. 15-30 second serve. Oh.
Great pace down the line from Safin.
It was great pace, but it looks to me just like Andre slowed down just a touch. We're about 2 hours into this first round match, and at 15-30, I would like to see him dig a little deeper just to try to run that ball down. 30 all now. Especially when you follow it up with I mean, that's the bread and butter Andre Agassi's game. He is one of the greatest returner servers in the history of the sport. He does not want to miss second serve returns like that. I mean, it wasn't as if Safin was serving and volleying or was putting any real type of pressure on him. Well, he got lucky there.
Marat Safin, a game away from a 2-1 lead. Third set against Marat Safin from Moscow. Qualifier. Member of the Russian Davis Cup team. Had that great 5-setter against Jim Courier at Stone Mountain.
It's great for Courier.
Great for the fans.
Great for the United States. Boy, that depth is really affecting Agassi's head right now. He's really playing with confidence. Spending that time living in Spain the last couple of years, not hurting his clay court ability. You think you could convince Agassi? You know, he wants to win the French Slam. Hey, go live in Spain for a couple of years if you want to win the French. Practice with Correia and Costa.
And then what happens when the tournament's played in Barcelona? Todd Martin wins it.
Now that's incredible.
And Agassi in real danger here now at love 30.
You see these, that's 3 horrible points by Agassi. These clay courters like for the ball to come down. Well, Todd's 6'6", so when he hits that topspin serve, Barasategi, if he was playing Martin on court A, he'd be over, you know, in the stands somewhere. Triple set point for the Russian. Does not look like he's fighting too hard this game, Bill. Tighten up on that return. 1 set point save for the man from Las Vegas. There it is.
6-2 for Marat Safin.
Well, Rafter pulled out that 5th set today. 2 sets to love down. 2 sets all. Comes back today, beats Sebastian Leroux, the double specialist. Leroux was looking like a good singles player for a couple sets, and then reverted back to, unfortunately, his pass. Good effort by Rafter to come back, and Agassi's going to have to launch a comeback of his own here, now down 2 sets to 1.
Not a lot of success.
All right, so we can go home now. He doesn't need to play. He wants to change that horrific USA stat. 0-4. That's what you call luck, Bill.
One of those 5-setters, by the way, was in the final against Jim Courier in '91, where he lost 6-4 in the 5th.
Safin, excuse me, just stuck his racket out, went over, and then comes up with that pass. Boy, he's really ripping the ball now, though.
Once again, the momentum back on the other side of the net to Safin, and you just see the confidence, John, growing with every shot. You just sense he really believes now that he can win this match. Despite what happened just a few months ago, as you've mentioned, in Davis Cup, where Agassi just dominated him.
Well, that's true, but I think 2 days later, his confidence ended up like Kierton last year in Davis Cup. He lost the match, his Davis Cup match down in Brazil. Mal Washington beat Kierton and Mal Washington's been struggling with injury, and I hope to see him get healthy soon. And there's not a whole lot of people, Bill, that would have said, although Kierton put a respectable 4-set showing against Mal, that he would have turned around and won the French 6 months later. So sometimes you can learn more, actually a lot of times learn more with the losses than you do with the wins. And he's a better player, Safin, than he was. He had to run too much on that point. He looked like he came up a little bit lame. Got jerked around by Agassi. Agassi hasn't done a lot of going back to the player, going back to the same spot. He's been hit into the open court a lot. As a matter of fact, both players have. That time he went behind Safin. Safin's slowing things down a little bit. He may have jerked his leg or something. Pulled a muscle ever so slightly. Is that volley I was talking about? Should have put that backhand volley away. Instead, it was actually just getting it in was a victory for him. But Agassi's too good off the pass. That was a chance to break here. First game, 4-set.
Big point for both players. No, jammed him.
Exactly, and you don't see that often enough in today's game. Tony Traber used to coach me in Davis Cups. Got to go more into the body. And I'll tell you, very effective there for Safin. Yep, right on the Looked like it was going to float wide from my angle, but no.
And immediately Paulo Pereira said good as well. Yep, he said skid off the line.
Hard fought point. Agassi with another break point. Surprise, surprise, he's going for too much. And that, you got to give credit to Safin for that. He's forcing, or at least Agassi thinks he needs to do more now, which is not a good sign for the American. Wind's starting to kick up. Sun is gone. Things looking a little bit iffy out there. He's mishit a lot of balls the last couple games.
There you see the flags above Court Suzanne Langland. Cloudy skies and that breeze, which does tend to swirl inside the stadium.
That umpire almost got nailed there. Second serve.
This time it's Agassi that comes up with the great angle.
Oh, it's the angle along with hitting the line. It skidded once again. Safin unable to deal with it. Hey, get used to it, pal. Ain't gonna change. Follows it up with a double.
Fifth double fault. Third break chance for Andre Agassi.
Looks like Agassi's going to make a run at breaking that dubious record. 0-4 5-set matches. Get this early break, change the momentum once again.
Fist pump from Agassi, trying to come from 2 sets to 1 down. First serve for Andre Agassi. After the break to start the 4th set. It's Marat Safin.
For a guy up 2 sets to 1, he's not looking too happy right now. Even that last game started tensing up. One guy who's happy, the Brazilian. I mean, he's sitting here saying, keep on going. 5 sets would be just fine. I'll be ready Thursday. Talking to himself. Agassi looks well focused now. Looking to go up 2-love 4 set.
Well, that momentum shifting once again. John, as a player, how did you handle the changes in momentum weathering the storm?
Yelling at umpires? That was one method, slow things down, but change your game or go back to what you're most comfortable with. There's a whole mess of things. I mean, you always have to have 4 or 5 different things you can go to. You can see how not only is his volley shaky, you see him throwing it something where he's not shaky, number 9, but it's also his where he goes on his approach shots. He doesn't look like he knows where he's going on the approach shots. You got to cover when you come up. You got to be sure that you're in the right position as well. I mean, Agassi had an easy pass that last game to hold. And also when he broke serve, Safin did the same thing. Came in, left a wide open court. Agassi hit the winner. Notice Agassi's game picking up now. His confidence up a notch. It certainly looks now like we're headed to a 5th set, although it is still early in this 4th. But just have this feeling that put your seatbelts on.
15-30.
This could be a quick 4th set. Unless you can hit our first serves like that, get some easy points, and then hope Agassi gets a little tighter. Plays a poor game like he did at the end of the 2nd set. A couple service games in the 3rd. There's that uncomfortable half volley. Another break point chance for Agassi. See, in some cases, he tries to hit the ball too hard. I mean, the ball is back at Agassi too fast, so Safin's not ready for Agassi's shot. Hey, it's a major pace on those backhands. Pace is what hurt Agassi there. Just caught the ball a little late, and that ball floated well wide.
It's always been said one of the keys on the Terbat 2 is learning how to construct points, and perhaps Safin has yet to pick up on the nuances of that. Got a racket on it.
Well, he does a pretty good job from the baseline. If he can learn how to translate that into some attacking shots as well as improved net play, then watch out for this guy. Agassi another break point chance to go up 2 breaks in this 4th set. It's amazing how much different he looks in 10 minutes ago. And how much worse Safin looks.
Another break for Andre Agassi. Safin's racket falls to the Terbat 2, and Agassi is up 3-love here in the 4th. Looking on. John, what do you think he's learned from watching this match, other than they're both going to be
beans
tired?
And rice. That's what he's learned. That's what he tells me to eat. Okay, Larry? Just eat beans and rice, and you look like Gustavo. I'm not sure he's learned anything he doesn't already know, to be honest. I mean, Agassi's been around a long time. Safin has been around the past year and a half, at least in coaches like Passos' mind. They've taken a look over the shoulder to see what's developing. Agassi let that one fly along. We got some terrible news to report here. Todd Whitson has passed away. 34-year-old. Same problem Tim Gullickson had. Player on the circuit in the 80s. Our hearts go out to the Whitskin family. Survived by his wife Lisa and 4 little kids. Tyler, Connor, Tanner, and a daughter Carly. Puts it in perspective, huh?
That it does. Now Andre Agassi facing 2 break points.
What a horrible game that was.
6th double fault. And Agassi gives one of the breaks back. Safin will serve. 1-3. 4th set. Up 2-1 against Andre Agassi.
What's going on?
Well, 6th double fault for Safin. And love 15. Both players showing an awful lot of quickness.
Well, it's a lot longer to run in the 4th set than the first one. Safin did well to run that down. Agassi returns a favor. He had a shot at that one, but I think fatigue had set in by that point. Boy, and he needed that winner. He didn't want to play a long point there. Love a couple freebies. Try to sneak in a hold here to 3-2 and put some pressure on Agassi.
15-30. Safin with an awful lot of winners.
Well, you got to have a pretty heavy ball if you can smack winners from that position. Maybe Agassi sucking a little wind himself. 30 all now. That's surprising, but there's another. Once again, effective serve into the body. More players should use that. You have the serve out wide, up the middle, but just as important is the one into the body, 40-30 now. I think you see players go for that 5–10% of the time instead of maybe a third of the time. Too much on that angle. 3-2 Safin. And we'll be back.
Agassi mène par 3-2.
Boy. You said it early, Bill. The momentum changes quickly, and quite often on
you've said in the past it can actually change during individual points.
Well, you said it could change between serves before.
So 15 all.
Crowd doesn't know what to think.
Now, Safin is really keeping the pressure on. He thought he was out of this set. Comes right back with a break. Still down a break, but up 2-1.
No, that is just that's just plain dumb.
Are we seeing some fatigue in Andre?
I think
now?
a little mental fatigue, and I think he has slowed down. My concern is how he can do over best-of-5 set matches, not only physically, but mentally, to stick with it for that long. Keep your concentration. That's very tough. Unless you live in Spain, then it's a requirement. And guess what? I mean, look at this now. It's 3-love, 2 breaks. Now it's 3-2, 15-40. We're just about to be back on serve. He doesn't want to make this the first time he's lost first round. Whoa, that would have been a tricky shot to deal with. He hit those 2 forehands about as hard as I've seen forehands hit. These guys are really going after the ball. One more break point chance for the Russian. Yep, floats long. Big couple points for Agassi there. Sneaks back to deuce. Both players looking for that 5th gear that you usually only find in Europe. You know, clay courts, faster cars. You need to be quite fit physically out there to pull this feat off. 7 best-of-5 set matches. Floats along once again.
So 3 straight points.
Our buddy Vitas Garlias is always the best of that, keeping balance and using little steps. Safin's starting to stretch and take those long steps, which is a sign of a little fatigue. Made an error there. Ad for Agassi. Big comeback for him here. As quickly as I say that, he bricks it for him.
Deuce.
This match is a perfect example of why it's so tough to win on clay. You just go through so many ups and downs in a match. No. Oh, boy. There's a gift there. He's there in plenty of time. Should I go down the line, hit a drop shot, cross court? Well, he hadn't made the decision by the time he was about to hit it. Caught it a little bit late and just missed that well long.
Agassi.
Well, a battle for Andre Agassi to hold serve, but he does, despite a couple of break chances for Safin. So it's 4-2 now in the fourth.
Strike one.
0-15.
Looked like he pulled up a little lame on the leg, swung and missed, probably hurt the shoulder a little bit. That was an all-around negative for Safin there. Oh, maybe he's feeling like he's starting to cramp up a little bit.
Yeah, kind of working the leg as he went back to take his place in the service line.
Andre not happy with the court there. He felt that ball skidded down away from his racket. The fact that it was hit about 115 miles an hour made it even tougher to handle.
15 all.
He's really fallen off. And he may well be cramping a little. He's definitely laboring out there.
Well,
another sign there, Bill, when you start throwing in doubles like that. What number was that?
7th double fault.
7 doubles. You don't push off on the leg, and it looked like he barely got off the ground.
Double break point for Agassi to go up 5-2. That may have been the point of the match.
Both players trading body blows there. Some big time hitting. Safin ends up by going behind him. Good play because Agassi was about the end of his rope there.
Agassi still with a break chance. He'll get a second serve.
His backhand up the line is world class. Safin's.
So now it's Safin's turn to save 2 break chances.
He looks like he's limping a little back here. I don't know if this is an act job, but he's tightening up. I don't know if he pulled something or he's cramping. We'll find out soon enough. Agassi's not exactly, by the way, fresh as a daisy out there. But he does sense, being around 10, 12 years like he's been, that Safin's starting to struggle, which is probably why he got tight in that backhand. Look at that backhand up the line.
And this time it's Agassi with the break chances, but can't convert. 4-3, fourth set. Well, Marat Safin did not ask for a trainer during the last change.
Maybe we're making it all up.
Well,
sounds like a good story.
He's definitely moving in a different manner, a little slower.
This isn't a Femme Nikita. I mean, we need to, keep people in their seats, watching this match. We don't have that natural built-in audience.
The mystery of what may be wrong with Marat Safin.
Matter of fact, I think we should get La Femme Nikita into bring it into like a tennis thing somehow. Bring her to the Open. Do a show there.
They've been playing just over 2.5 hours. 15 all, 4-3.
Thank you very much, says Agassi. 2 unforced errors, 30-15. Oh, make that 3.
And 40-15. And Agassi happy to have those gifts.
Sure is. Get this set out of the way. Try to break that record of not winning any 5-setters here. The quality of play certainly gone up and down here. Not a lot of consistency out there the last set or so. Actually started, I think, when Agassi played that poor game at 5-6 in the second. He really went down his game, and now Safin in this set has really been up and down. Look, this is incredible.
The 7th double fault now for Andre Agassi, and deuce.
Then he plays a point like that. Fantastic. Good idea. Pump yourself up after that monstrous forehand winner up the line.
Point away from 5-3. Call was wide. So we're a game away from a 5th set.
Well, you know what his best shot is, not Andre Safin. That backhand up the line is fantastic. Agassi's showing Safin, hey, I'm still fresh. I'm ready to go to a 5th. 3-5, 4th set.
Andre moving, trying to keep the legs as fresh as possible.
Nicholas Kiefer, by the way, had a good win. He dominated Tommy Haas, his German teammate. 2 players that the Germans expect to attempt to, in some way, as we see Safin's ace number 10 take over the mantle of Mr. Boris Becker, which
Kiefer had a pretty good win over Peter Korda. Dusseldorf.
Well, that's because Korda was frozen. Remember, he was frozen. Tough shot to hit a winner 13 feet behind the baseline. I don't care who you are. Kiefer, by the way, now plays Thomas Muster in the second round. Another excellent second-round match. See that volley there, Bill? A little shaky. Now Agassi with a set point to level 2 sets off. Just bring him into net. There it is.
Well, Andre Agassi will see if he can break the streak of 5-set losses now. Here in Roland Garros, Andre Agassi is 0 for 4 in 5-set matches. The last 5-setter was the last time he played here at the French Open. That was '96 against the young American Chris Woodruff. And Andre lost 6-2 in the 5th.
That backhand up the line is just a killer for Safin. Agassi thought he was in good shape, hit the deep approach shot, but Safin says, wait a second, you just hit it to my favorite stroke. Rip this backhand up the line for a winner, love 15. Poor Andre. Gee, this isn't right.
Safin has Agassi moving.
He better be fit, so I can tell, because Safin has come out in his 5th set so far and is on fire. He saw Agassi move into the forehand side. That was an easy put away. Love 30. Agassi's turn for the winner, going behind him. Good play there, 15-30.
And Safin moving well, so whatever was troubling him before seems to have worked itself out.
Wait till he starts losing. You know, boy, he'll start hurting again. When you're winning, it's amazing how quickly you recover.
15-30.
Ooh. See, couples first serves, not a lot on him, but well placed, and gets the desired results both times, 30 all. Agassi's lifetime 5-set record, not even 500, 12-13. Bit dubious there, as Clyde Frazier would say. They're both digging deep now, I'll tell you.
Tremendous pace and an opportunity for Safin to start the 5th set with a break.
They're giving it absolutely everything they have to get off to this quick, early, good start. And Safin right there just crushes a forehand. Now has a breakpoint chance to open this 5th set. And Agassi smartly using some experience, which hopefully will help him. Taking a little extra time there. Now he's going to question the call, give him a little more rest. Just enough to get that win back. Safin not sure the ball was in or out himself.
Call will stand.
They'll called it out, so I'll just run back. Boy, both players picking it up now. That's nice to see.
That time Agassi gave Safin some pace.
Some major winners now.
So deuce.
This is the type of 5th set I hope is played throughout. Just all out, a lot of winners. Putting a little extra zip on that serve. That's about the hardest serve he's hit today. Unfortunately, went long. Boy, not the time he wanted to throw in that double.
Avantage
8.
Safin.
And it brings up a second break opportunity.
You listen to Frazier, by the way, in the Nick games, right? I mean, I guess you're not spending much time in New York. You don't hear the radio. I mean, he's got some lines that you wouldn't believe. Got to get your tape of his so you can learn some new lines. there. Fabulous point.
And Agassi saves another break chance.
A well-deserved round of applause for both players there. I mean, Safin was desperately trying to hang in that point, but Agassi says, no, wait a second. I can hit winners at any time. Tremendous first game here, the 5th set. Get the idea, whoever wins this game could have an edge. Do not take your eye off the ball, or else it will go 10, 15 feet long. Unbelievable backhand there. I don't know, that ball looked good to me. But Andre's pointed to a mark. He sure has a better view and wants it to be out more than I do.
Comes Paulo Pereira.
It looked in from this angle. Yeah, he's calling it good. Yeah, that was in. I think Andre knows it deep down because he circled the mark that was in. So you got to give him that
One of those little subtle.
Very subtle. Extremely subtle. 50 winners now for set, but that had to be the 50. Okay, that's number 1 right there. That was an incredible backhand return. Save that for the best of. Agassi floats it long, and now Safin with the break point chance once again.
Third break opportunity here in the first game, 5th set.
Well, he'd like that one back because that's his. You don't see him miss that one too often. Tension, tension, tension.
Till today, Marat Safin had not played a match in a Grand Slam tournament.
I believe that was also true of Kierton, or certainly was, when he won the French, and Wielander. I don't remember him playing any majors, and he won the French at 17. So you figure he's about due, right? Total miss hit there. No reason for that miss other than nerves. I'm nervous watching from up here, so you imagine how these two guys feel.
4th break point.
I'm at a loss for words, Bill.
Service break for the 18-year-old. We're in the 5th set. French. Marat Safin, his first service game of the 5th set to try to consolidate the break.
He's trying to consolidate his break and eliminate the mistakes. See, I just saw Bulwark, so I'm into this rapping, rhyming thing. And
that's all.
I've turned to rap. Yeah, wait till you hear this. Before I won't give you another kiss.
Thank you. What would be your advice to both players in this situation right now where they are in the match? Great catch from Agassi.
Both players, I would try to eliminate the mistakes and at least force the other player to beat me with winners. With Agassi, I'd like to see him try to bring Safin into net more because he knows he's not comfortable there. And also to keep jerking him around, making him on the run, those wide shots that he has trouble with. And Safin, get these first serve percentage up. And Bill set himself up because he's got one of the world's best. I'm not saying, he's got one of the world's best backhand off the line right now. I mean, it's an incredible shot. But he's really hurting Agassi like he did that point. If he can set himself up, if I were him, take a little bit off the first serve, get some more serves in the court, and then stand around the baseline, which he likes to do, and try to dictate play from there. He's capable of doing that. He clearly can hit the winners up the line off both sides. Agassi just didn't get enough angle on this forehand. Take a look here. Safin sort of guessed right, but it wasn't wide enough, and he had time to line that one up and rip a winner. 2 points for a 2-love lead.
There it is. Boy, Safin losing just 1 point on his serve. It's been a real battle.
It really has. I mean, you wonder physically where these guys are both at. They're going to have to put an awful lot out there to win this match. New balls for Agassi, and Curtin just licking his chops right now. Played for about an hour and 10 minutes. These guys working awfully hard. Boy, he let that go. That wasn't out by much. It's like an inch or two out. He made it look, he acted like just 3-4 feet out. There it is. It's like a broken record. He better start looking for that shot or he'll be in the locker room soon. I guess he will be either way, although there's, as we haven't pointed out yet, no tiebreakers here. 5th set. The only major that has tiebreakers in the 5th set is the U.S. Open. Well, way off the mark there.
So again, Agassi in trouble, 15-30.
Crowd's stunned a bit right now. Certainly looked at the end of the 4th set that Agassi had things in control. But you never know. Good first serve, 30-all. He needs this game. Doesn't want to get down 2 breaks. Well, I said Andre Agassi was better with the angles, but Safin said, wait a second, I can do that pretty well. Not only was it angled, but it was hit hard. I mean, which is, your margin for error is like 1/10 of an inch on that shot.
And another break chance.
It's awful close there. Awful close. Andre has nothing to say. Second serve.
Well, Safin is up now. 2 breaks in the 5th set. Marat Safin is 3 games away from handing Andre Agassi his earliest exit from Roland Garros.
Well, when Andre looked at the draw, he obviously saw Curtin would be a tough second-round match. So he saw, hey, I play a qualifier. I should be in pretty good shape. But I bet you one guy that he wouldn't have been thrilled about was seeing this guy. And you can see why now. Miss hit there.
You wonder if Agassi saw an inkling of his talent when these two played at the Davis Cup in Stone Mountain, Georgia.
I'm not sure he saw it in that match, but he certainly saw it 2 days later with Courier.
Agassi won in straight sets, 3-3 and 3. Much different story today.
Well, he's shaky at that net, though. I'd still try to get him in.
30-15.
Just giving too many points away to Safin, just helping build his confidence. The only tournament since Davis Cup that Safin's even been in is Barcelona. It's the only big tournament. He's probably played a couple little ones too. There's an outright winner from the forehand side, a 40-30.
In Barcelona, he beat Magnus Larsson in straight sets, lost to Carlos Costa, but did take a set. Lost 6-2 in the third. He's only been in 2 tour events so far this year. So not a lot of experience.
No, he's going to get some more wild cards, though, especially if he pulls this one out. Suddenly, the tournament directors are going to be there with open arms. Oh, boy. That's too bad. Shouldn't have gone for that much. Easy for me to say, but bottom line, Safin, look, still stretching that leg out. Surprisingly, when he's up 4-love.
Well, the hole has gotten deeper for Andre Agassi. Serving at love 4, 5th set.
That ball wide. He's losing control right now, and he keeps this up, he'll be history in 5 minutes. He's got to force himself to go against his nature, Bill. His natural desire is to play very quickly. Rare miss up the line from Safin.
Give Safin more time to think about what's about to happen.
You're about to beat a great player. Let him think about it. He choked up against Courier. He doesn't have a lot of experience. He could easily do it again. Oh, that certainly has a big mountain at 4-love. It's 2 breaks. Long way to go. That backhand up the line has just killed Agassi, though, this last set and a half. Looks like he's slowed down a little, which is probably natural when you played a long 5-set match on clay.
Agassi down again, 15-30. 30 all.
Just caught the back of the tape there. Safin with a long look. No dice, 30 all. Looks like Safin's the one slowing things down.
Agassi.
Well, Agassi has to work, but he holds 4-1. Safin coming in ranked 116 in the world. Andre Agassi unseeded, but ranked 20th.
Well, he's proven he's got big-time ground strokes. Another forehand winner, 15-love at 4-1. I thought, Bill, he could hurt Safin with that wide forehand, particularly using the angles, but Safin's got that long reach. Has actually moved better than I expected in this match. And I'll tell you something, if he learns how to complement the ground strokes in the serve with a good attacking approach on some solid volleying, this guy's going to be in the top 10.
3 quick points for 40-love.
How about the results on court, too? Bruguera losing 6-2, 6-2, 6-3 first round last year's finalist.
And 2-time champion.
Herman Gumi from Argentina, who is a pretty good clay court player. But that just shows you what a negative attitude can do to your career. I mean, Bruguera looked like he was down and out. Sort of made a comeback for about 6 months last year. Hasn't won a tournament in years, but he did get to the finals of French, which is by far the biggest clay court tournament. But since then, I mean, he really is this is incredible that he's dropped so quickly. boy. Now that's a point Agassi should have won right there. He finds himself down 40 love, gets a couple points to 40-30. At least on 2 or 3 occasions should have come in as we see Safin stretch those tight legs. Just waited on Safin, and eventually the effort that the Russian put through paid off for him. And now he is a game away from the biggest win of his life. 1-5, 5th set. I mean, he's just so flat-footed now and just doesn't have any spring and just negative body language. This is an approach shot, love 15. We say back to the drawing board once again for Andre Agassi, it appears, unless he is able to mount some miraculous comeback here.
Well, Agassi worked so hard to get back to this position. Made the finals at Key Biscayne and really got a warning shot from Marcelo Rios.
Maybe this is his best bet. It's starting to rain a little bit. Stop playing and regroup.
And Safin is 2 points away.
You know, I correlated to a basketball game when you get down 20, 25 points the first half. You work hard, you fight all your way back to get down a couple points, but then you can't get over the hump. Now, Bill, the problem for Agassi is he let it drop so far. You pointed out earlier he dropped 141. He ended the year 105. He's had to work awfully hard just to get back to 20. Now, this guy shouldn't be 20 well. Here's a big shocker. Even Izovich losing early at the French. 2 Spaniards going at it. Javier coming up short there. Right on the line. He's got to kick it up another gear or 2 to get back to the top 10. I mean, this is one thing to get to number 20. Another story entirely to be able to regularly defeat the top players. Usually you have to play at the service pace. I don't think Agassi was too thrilled at Safin taking the break there. Vacek, a bit of a surprise, not known as a clay court demon. And what we just missed there, Potsy beating Rosé, a semifinalist here. That's a big surprise. Potsy's been around for decades.
And that's dipped in.
And that's point. Well, we've seen a lot of that. Backhand winners, both up the line and cross court. Crowd urging Agassi on. Hang in there. And giving this young Russian his due.
And Agassi saves the first match point.
Well, Safin made him work for it. That's all you can ask. It started with the well-placed serve and 2 big ground strokes to get back to deuce. Well, maybe next year he'll put that volley away, but this year he still does not have the confidence or experience to really go after. You're supposed to really snap at that.
Agassi.
Punch that volley. He guided that. Agassi had one more chance for the pass. Came up big.
Nice touch. And Agassi survives a match point against this tough young Russian. 5-2 in the 5th set.
Safin man point, 5-2.
Three times Andre Agassi has lost in the second round here at Roland Garros, but never in the first. And in real danger of falling now as Marat Safin has a chance to serve out the match.
15-0.
And starts with an ace.
For a young guy, that's so important. Get that quick, easy free point quickly to 15 love. Particularly when he's dumped the match point the previous game. How about 2 quick serves? 30 love. Shows you how well Rios is playing. If you're calling him the favorite, you got these young kids, 6'4", cracking the ball. Rios, an old man, elderly statesman at 22. Boy, should not have missed that shot. And now he's really up against it now. Triple match point for the Russian. Little serve volley punctuate this match. I think it may have been a good thing he missed that serve.
And perhaps a little nerves.
Little elbow there. That's why you get up 40 love, though. You can throw away a point or two and still put it away. 40-15.
He hasn't missed many of those backhands down the line.
Well, he hasn't been up too many match points against Agassi either. And here comes number 3.
Safin.
3 hours and 10 minutes, and Safin has the upset. A qualifier ranked 116 in the world. Until today, Marat Safin had never played in a Grand Slam event.
I think you'll be hearing from this guy in the future. A lot expected and a lot hoped for, particularly in the Russian side, from Marat Safin. On to meet Gustavo Kirten in the second round of the French Open. And watch Andre disappointed.